try not to belittle another man's opinion. However, let me tell you what I think. In this game of ours, sometimes you have to think about other people rather than yourself. Now, Kyrie has his views, he has his opinions. I'm not going to knock that. But he does have an obligation because he took that 200 million.
Right.
Only thing I don't like it is, oh, can respect my privacy. Once you sign up for this life, there is no privacy, and you have to accept it. But if you're on my team and you can't play home games, I don't want you around. Like we have a chance to win, and if you ain't on the program, go somewhere else. Period. Hey, whatever your reasons are, cool. I'm with that, but we ain't gonna be going back and forth for 41 games, whether you're gonna play or not. Get your ass up out of here.
They telling him like, yo, your wife is going into labor. How dare you leave this team and not go tend to your wife? That's something that's personal to him. That's health related. That's, something that's personal to his family. This is no different. This is, we're dealing with something that to me feels like has turned into a political war. When you're talking about a vaccination and non-vaccinated, I think it's become very political. And, for someone who's not extremely into politics, when you make something so political and not everyone is into politics, then you can also turn those people off, and, I think there is something to be said for people's concern about something that's being pressed so hard. Like, why are you pressing this so hard? Like, so much, you're just pressing and pressing and pressing. I think you have to honor people's feelings and their own personal beliefs. And I think that's been lost when it comes to vaccinated and non-vaccinated. And it kind of sucks that that's been lost because you're essentially not giving anyone, you say we live in a land of the free. Well, you're not giving anyone freedom because you're making people do something essentially without necessarily making them, you're making them do something. And that goes against everything that America stands for or supposedly stands for. And so I don't think, I know I'm not in any position to go tell him what he should or should not be doing. And as a leader of this team, I'm not going to go to him and say, hey, man, we really need, no, the hell, you do what you feel you want to do. That has nothing. I'm not going to go and ask him, did he get a polio vaccine? So why would I go ask him if he got a COVID vaccine?
Good evening. My name is Lieutenant Colonel Stu Scheller, United States Marine Corps. I'm the current battalion commander for Advanced Infantry Training Battalion. I've been in the Marine Infantry for 17 years. Started my tour with Victor 1-8. It's the current unit that's doing perimeter security, dealing with the mess that's going on there. You can see open source reporting that there was an explosion and some people were killed. I know through my inside channels that one of those people that were killed was someone that I have a personal relationship with. Won't go into more details because the families are still being notified. Not making this video because it's potentially an emotional time, making it because I have a growing discontent and contempt for my perceived ineptitude at the foreign policy level, and I want to specifically ask some questions to some of my senior leaders. And I'll say, as a person that's not at 20 years, I feel like I have a lot to lose. If you play chess, you can only see 2 to 3 moves out because there's too many variables. I thought through if I post this video, what might happen to me, especially if the video picks up traction, if I have the courage to post it. But I think what you believe in can only be defined by what you're willing to risk. So if I'm willing to risk my current battalion commander seat, my retirement, my family's stability to say some of the things that I want to say, I think it gives me some moral high ground to demand the same honesty, integrity, accountability from my senior leaders. And so I want to start with, we'll just use the Marine Corps. My we'll just stick with the Marine Corps. So in the current fallout of Afghanistan, a lot of Marines were posting on social media, and in response to that, the Commandant published a letter, which is the service chief of the Marine Corps. And I'm going to read from it. It was dated 18 August, so only a week ago. The Commandant, sir, you wrote, "Some of you may be struggling with the simple question, was it all worth it? We want you to know that your service is meaningful, powerful, and important. You fought for the Marine to your left and the Marine to your right. You never let them down." And then you go on to say that, if we're struggling, we should seek counseling, which, I get it. People have killed people. I've killed people, and I seek counseling, and that's fine. There's a time and place for that. But the reason people are so upset on social media right now is not because the Marine on the battlefield let someone down. That service member has always rose to the occasion and done extraordinary things. People are upset because their senior leaders let them down, and none of them are raising their hands and accepting accountability or saying, we messed this up. If an 05 battalion commander has the simplest live fire incident EO complaint, boom, fired. But we have a Secretary of Defense that testified to Congress in May that the Afghan National Security Force could withstand the Taliban advance. We have chairmen of Joint Chief, who the Commandant is a member of that, who's supposed to advise on military policy. We have a Marine combatant commander. All of these people are supposed to advise, and I'm not saying we've got to be in Afghanistan forever, but I am saying, did any of you throw your rank on the table and say, hey, it's a bad idea to evacuate Bagram Airfield, the strategic air base, before we evacuate everyone? Did anyone do that? And when you didn't think to do that, did anyone raise their hand and say, we completely messed this up? I've got battalion commander friends right now that are posting similar things, and they're saying, wondering if all the lives were lost and if it was in vain, all those people that we've lost over the last 20 years. And he goes on to say that we're all part of a chain. While every link may not be tested, the strength of the chain is only as strong as each link, and you got to be, good links, something like that. And what I'll say is, and from my position, potentially all those people did die in vain if we don't have senior leaders that own up and raise their hand and say, we did not do this well in the end. Without that, we just keep repeating the same mistakes. This amalgamation of the economic / corporate / political / higher military ranks are not holding up their end of the bargain. I want to say this very strongly. I have been fighting for 17 years. I am willing to throw it all away to say to my senior leaders, I demand accountability.
Shalom. All praises, glory, honor, and fear. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Kakadash. And much love and the real true honor goes to the brothers that are actually being humiliated and owning up to things that others really aren't, and not really stepping up to the plate. You true elders, it doesn't matter what camp you are in or how old you may be or look. It's not about the outside, it's about the inside. And the thing is about the elect is that they're fulfilling a long time in a short time. See, the Lord said he's going to speed up time or no flesh should be saved. And, there's a war on all fronts. There's a war on all fronts. This kingdom is divided. All of the laws and all of the statutes that this kingdom, this America, Babylon the Great, was built up on is breaking. You see, they're breaking their own codes. Land of the free, liberty, give me death. But people, they're rather choosing give me COVID-19 vaccination than give me death. They'd rather just have that to get their liberties. But the point being, you guys that call yourselves great, great millstone. Well, guess what is great? Babylon is great. And as great as they are, their time is limited. Their time is expiring. They are falling, and they are falling quick. And everyone that's joined hand in hand with this place and has a lot of stock and puts their trust in these idols and these corrupted riches. And there shall be no work for the head or tail, which Egypt shall do. Isaiah 19:15. All these prophecies are coming to pass. And I was checking out this movie the other night called Old. It's literally called Old. And It's a beautiful movie. Definitely recommend you guys to go check out that movie. Old, if you haven't seen it yet, if you don't want me to spoil it, just to, pause it and go check it out. But point of the matter is, with that movie, it really showed you how the Lord, he's one, speeding up time. And this rock over fence, because it was like around a rock that was like speeding up time, that they couldn't like leave that island. And we're in a time now where it's like, you can't leave, and everyone's gonna get what they deserve. You're gonna reap what you sowed. Judgment is prepared for the back of scorners, and fools hate wisdom. And in that movie, only the children got out. They were only the brother and the sister. They're the only ones that got out to tell the story and to basically expose the wickedness of this fake hotel vacation getaway. They were testing on people. They had blood in their hands, but all in the name of science. They were making new cures for things, but they were literally killing people, man, and testing on people and killing people, man, and wiping their name off. And they never thought that someone could actually get out. But the young children that were now very old, they were in their 50s, because you have to understand, this island, time was flying by, so they actually got out and exposed all their wickedness. Now, there are certain characters that were not really learning from their life. They weren't learning their lesson. They weren't owning up to their faults. Like this one chick, she was all about her beauty, about her physique, how she's skinny, and her skin, and how she looks on the outside. But she didn't have anything on the inside. She didn't have what it took to get through that trial, man, that test. It was a test. That's all it was. And they put that little candle on, and then she was like, "Turn it off. I don't want anyone to see me." She didn't want to be seen. She didn't want to be seen that she was like losing her beauty of her youth, and her bones started breaking. It was a messed up death. But anyways, getting to the point. The thing is with just the NBA, a lot of our people look up to these NBA stars. So seeing this little ripple effect happening with certain basketball players not getting vaccinated, and certain ones are, and they're trying to promote it. Others are like standing up for it, and there's definitely a shaking happening, and the elect are coming together. The elect is gonna see through this, all this wickedness and darkness. And the thing is with this vaccine, which is, it is the mark of the beast. They're marking you. And there was this video, I'm gonna have to put it up too prior to post-production, but there was this lady breaking it down, this doctor breaking it down, how it didn't just start at the vaccines, the tests, those tests was the mark, you see. So we're definitely in them times, man, sinister times. The Lord said troublous times shall come. And we're going to get into these precepts, but concerning the abomination, desolation, which Yahushua talked about, that's the only reference he really made for Esau, the wicked. Now, what they've always been trying to do, they've always been trying to come into the place where they can't go. For instance, the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, they weren't allowed to go into there, but they fought their way in there. They deceived their way in there. And then you had the Herodians. You had King Herod. He was basically the king of the Jews. He had his hand in the temple. And it was perverting the elders. It was perverting the leaders of our nation, just as it is now. And when you watch that other video I showed y'all, brothers, of that Marine, he's basically showing you how the corrupt of these military leaders, man, these generals, these higher commands, they're not taking no accountability for why things are just going so wrong and things are just not in order. And you can make that parallel to guys in this truth, chief priests and camp heads and elders. They don't take no accountability for what's happening amongst this truth, amongst our people, found wicked men. They don't want to. They see guys ain't want. They're not doing a diligent search. They're just that old same. They're not changing. Like the Lord said, He's gonna give you a new heart. He's gonna change your stony heart for a heart of flesh. That flesh being Yahushai. But these old guys, they're set in their ways, and they're not willing to change, and they don't want to change. They're not going to change, and they're gonna die in their old ways under that old law, that old way, which is all about the broad gate, having everyone underneath them. You see, getting tithes, so on and so forth. So now the abomination of desolation. Fast forward to today. The abomination that make it desolate. They're trying to put things in your mind, in your spirit, and in your body inside of you, because we're the temple now. We are the temple now. Each of us has lively stones. We're each a stone. We're just a small piece of the Lord's great, marvelous temple. He's raising up his third temple, the elect. We're all just each one stone. They're trying to enter into you. They're trying to take Yahushua, the word, out of you and put them in there, these elders. They're trying to put the test, the vaccine, the mark of the beast. That's what they're trying to do. And they're trying to make you fear man. Oh, we're not going to say mark of the beast. We're going to say M-O-B. We're not going to say Esau. We're going to say E. And instead of talking about the wickedness of our men, which is our leaders of our nation, the men, let's talk about edicts on women. You see? So it's a very weak, satanic, totally adverse and against the Yahushua. See, they might be teaching you this and this, that about the scriptures, but it's not expedient. It's not the time for be talking about women. You know, wars are fought and won by men. That's why they call history his story. History is written by the conqueror. Whoever wins the war, they write the books. They control the what's taught in the schools. You see, Matthew 24 and verse 14 says, "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come." And as we knew that when Yahushua was done with his ministry, as the apostles were, the true apostles, and the thing is about the apostles, they didn't call themselves elder apostle and add on to their title. No, they just said they were apostles. They were sent away. They were sent forth to do the will of the Father, not their own will. Unlike a lot of you false men out there. So the end is coming now, because these last finishing touches are being preached. They're being broadcasted. They're being prophesied. See, so the end is coming now. Verse 15, "When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso readeth, let him understand." Now, when you go to, let's go to Revelation 1 and 3, because this was fulfilled in 70 AD with Titus and Vespasian. You know, they conquered and they sacked Jerusalem. But now is coming a time like never before, even worse than that. And only the few is going to be able to withstand the times, because the Yahushua is standing in them. You see, we don't have no idols in our mind or in ourselves. We have the Lord in us. And that's what this world is dead set on taking away. That's why I got these guys in truth taken away and added to the scriptures.
We got the key.
That's heavy. Revelation 1 and 3 says, "Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand," right? And the brother made a good point last night on the SmackDown, being that when this word comes out, it actually like a chemical reaction happens. So if you're wicked, you come against it, or you disagree, or you know what I'm saying, something's not right. It doesn't sit well with you, because Yahushua doesn't have a seat in you. But if you're righteous, you're gonna agree. It's gonna click. It's gonna be, yes, Khan, let's do it. That's right. You see? So a lot of guys, they're having a reaction that is adverse to the scriptures and the Holy Spirit. You see? Luke 19 and verse 43, "For the day shall come upon thee that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee." So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to like trap us. They're trying to trap us where, oh, you have to choose this or you have to do this. And same thing with guys in camps. Oh, you have to pick great millstone or Sakari. No, you don't. The Lord said pick life for death. And many gonna pick death in these camps. Only few's gonna choose life. Same thing with this world. Oh, take the vaccine, or you can't buy or sell. You can't feed your children. You can't get money. No. It's called get another job. You see, where the Lord is, there is a way. The Lord's gonna make a way for his elect. We gonna eat. We gonna be satisfied. You wicked out there, you're going to die of famine. You're gonna be destroyed, because you've actually taken these things and put it inside of you. That's gonna destroy your temple. It's not just a vaccine or the mark of the beast or the test. It's also the words of the false prophets. That's what's also going to defile your temple. That's why Lord said in Ezekiel 14, all those that, not just the false prophets going to be killed and be destroyed, but all those that listen and follow the false prophets are going to have the same exact judgment, man. There's no respect of persons. So it says, and compass thee round and keep thee in on every side, and shall lay thee even with the ground, and thy children within thee, and they shall not leave thee one stone upon another, because thou knewest not the time of thy visitation, right? And you guys, you have to understand that's what Isaiah 1, because, matter of fact, a lot of these guys in this truth, they don't understand when the time of the visiting of the Lord. Lord's visiting the earth right now. And a lot of you guys, you're settled on your lease. You're at leisure here. You're satisfied. You're comfortable. That's why you teach all comfortable. You don't teach like you're angry with the wicked. You teach because you are the wicked, man. So you're not angry. You're happy. Your head's in the clouds, right? You see? You think the Lord's not going to do good or evil? And you guys like, oh, there's a chariot. Call all y'all, brush, now shut. You see, hey, those chariots could destroy a lot of you guys, man. Because you're following the wrong leaders. The leaders that cause you to err, not the leaders that have the spirit of truth. This is Jeremiah 8:7. Yeah, the stork in the heaven knoweth her appointed times, and the turtle and the crane and the swallow observe the time of their coming, right? And a turtle is a slow animal. But as slow as they are, they know how to prepare themselves and to make the certain moves in the seasons and times for giving birth, for mating, or getting food, or whatever the case may be. It says, observe the time they're coming, but my people know not the judgment of the Lord, right? And we are in the time of the judgment, because you guys are evil. You elders, you camp heads, you guys are evil. That's why you don't understand judgment. So when you're left in the dark and you don't really comprehend, or you can't see something, what do you say about it? Oh, don't go that way. Oh, that's evil. That's wrong. Because you don't understand it. People fear what they don't understand. And a lot of you guys, you do not understand Yahushai. You don't understand his men. You see? And you don't know, you don't understand the way of the spirit, because you're walking the ways of the flesh. You see? Whatever feels good to you. You see? But there's a way that seems right to man, but the ends of that way are death. And a lot of you guys are walking in it, man. Now let me get a drink of water. Now getting to more in-depth abomination that maketh desolate. An abomination is a filthy thing. Is a disgusting act, or something that is not going to be accepted of the Lord. Now this is 1 Maccabees 1:54. So just like Yahushua prophesied in Luke, we just brought out, the enemy shall cast a trench about thee on every side, right? So it says, now the 15th day of the month cast slew in the 145th year. They set up the abomination of desolation upon the altar, and builded idol altars throughout the cities of Judah on every side. See, everywhere, man. See, the wicked are on every side. The righteous are few, and they're closed in. They're hidden. And all the neighbors, all the nations, even our own, are gathered against her, are gathered against the Lord's bride, the elect, the woman that is pure, that is a virgin, that has chastity, that doesn't allow. See, that in the ancient days, the woman would wear a chastity belt, meaning that they wouldn't allow anybody into their drawers unless you had the key. You see, so the only one in that can enter into the elect is Yahushua. He has the key of life and death. Says 1 Maccabees 1:55, and burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire. So this has been an ongoing thing, man. The war between good and evil. Wrong and right. What they've been doing is they've been destroying and dividing, ripping apart the books of our forefathers, man, and trying to rewrite it in their own words, how they want it. You see, but they've been failing, and they're not going to be able to succeed, because everything that was hidden and a mystery from the foundation of the world is being made known unto his elect in these last days, because we're actually diligent, searching it out, digging, and we're finding actually gold. And when you find gold, what do you do with gold? Do you go on national television? Look at all the gold I found. No, Esau's going to take half, tax you, and then everyone else is going to come at you to get some. Oh, I'm your family. I'm your friend. I want some. When you find something that's rich and precious, you hide it and you don't tell nobody. You might tell a few people that you can trust, but that's it. That's what the Lord has done with this truth. It is hidden. So let me read that again. 1 Maccabees 1:56. And when they had rent in pieces the books of the law, which they found, they burnt them with fire, right? So you have to understand that the Lord said you have to be willing to die. We die daily. So just as these books were destroyed, our flesh is destroyed. So we're moving in the spirit. So things that man, just like Jeremiah, Jeremiah had written certain books and certain parables and letters, and he tried to send it to the king of Israel at that time. But what did the king do? He cut them up and he cast them into the fire. You see? And it wasn't like so easy back then where you could just make copies and copies. You see what I'm saying? So that word died. That word died in that flame. But see, it lives through us. You see, the spirit. You see, and that's the Lord is revealing unto us. 1 Maccabees 1 and verse 57 says, and whoso was found with any book of the testament, or if any committed to the law, the king's commandment was that they should put him to death. So this world is all about what? Shunning, silencing the Lord's true voice. It says, thus did they by their authority unto the Israelites every month to as many as were found in the cities, right? And that's the authority of this world. The authority of this world is destroying what is holy, defiling your temple, making deals with the heathens, which the Lord said is going to be a snare unto you. And that's why you have Shaq saying that, man, because Shaq is a full-blown witch, a mason. You see? A wicked man, a fucking wizard, man. You see? And it's not just these celebrities and athletes that are wicked as hell, the most of it, but also guys in this truth, man, that claim to be great. What else is great? Is Babylon is great, man, and great is going to be the fall of it. So the greater you are, the greater the fall. You see? Luke 21 and verse 20 says, and when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh. And let's get that word for desolation. So it happened in past times, and guess what? It's happening all over again. History repeats itself. You can't see? Because it's the same spirits back here today doing the same things they did over and over again. You see, it says desolation comes from G2049, which is it means to lay waste. It says to strip her of her treasures, right? And what's our treasure? The fear of the Lord. So they're trying to strip us of our treasure. You see? The kingdom of heaven, it suffered violence, and the violent take it by force. You see, seeing that they can't really even if they kill us, that doesn't really matter. What they're trying to do is they're trying to take the Holy Spirit. You see, and they're carnal, so the weapons of the warfare are carnal. You see, and they're gonna lose, man. Luke 21 and verse 21, it says, then let them which are in Judea flee to the mountains, and let them which are in the midst of it depart out, and let not them that are in the countries enter therein too. Right, so you have to flee from these times with your mind now. It's all in the mind now. The temple isn't Solomon's temple, or nothing like that, or carnal on the outside. It's now on the inside of the elect. Okay, it says, for these be the days of vengeance, that all things which are written may be fulfilled. So everything that was written aforetimes before our learning, and everything is being fulfilled. Everything's coming to pass. So just like in that movie, Old, the vast majority of these people, they died, just like in the wilderness. So you gotta check out that movie Old. So they weren't able to withstand the times. They perished. They started to lose their mind, and it was heavy because you had this surgeon, doctor. Everyone thought that everyone was looking to him for an answer or for salvation, but he was one of the first ones to lose his fucking mind and kill someone, man, murder someone. You see, just full of death. But the ones that were confessing their faults and being real and just facing reality, just facing it, they were the ones that were overcoming death or at peace. And then those two children, the only two children, were the ones that were able to escape and get out of that trap. You see, just like the little ones in the wilderness when we were about to inherit the promised land. You see, Joshua and Caleb, that was only one. Daniel's 9 and verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the prince shall be 7 weeks, which is I'm pretty sure roughly 490 years. I have to look at my notes. It says, and 62 weeks the street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times. So we're building the wall. We're building up our people. You know, and the walls are something that give you defense from the storm, from the wind, from the rain. You know, the walls. So we're building up our people's walls, even in troublous times. I mean, this is the time of Jacob's trouble. It says, and after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come and shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined. So that flood was the Edomites, the Romans coming in. Now we're coming into a different flood now. It says, and he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease, and for the overspreading of abomination he shall make it a desolate, even until the consummation, and the determined shall be poured upon the desolate. So the Lord's going to pour these last vials, these last judgments upon the wicked, you see? Because just as we were made a desolation, we were ruined, our people were ruined and destroyed for lack of knowledge, our books were destroyed, who we were destroyed. That's all being brought back unto us through the elect, through the Spirit. But now the Lord is going to bring that desolation unto all of our enemies and all you guys that are joined with Esau in this truth, that are basically forwarding the affliction by not telling our people and freeing them to Yahushai. You see, you're keeping them under their sins because you're under sin, you're under death. That's your master is death. Joel 3 and 19, Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land, you see? And that violence just doesn't begin and end with Esau. It's also our own nation, the elders, you see, which is very important to understand. 2 Chronicles 20 and 29, and the fear of God was on all the kingdoms of those countries when they heard that the Lord fought against the enemies of Israel. So the Lord is bringing that fear to this world because he's fighting against all our enemies, man, far and wide, heathens and Israel, because there's enemies of our own nation, man. The Lord's fighting against too, through his mouth, through his breath, that's destroying and consuming the wicked. It says Daniel 10 and 12. It says, then said he unto me, fear not, Daniel. So we don't have that spirit of fear and torment. We're at one with the Lord, man. We're with what the Lord is doing. You see. It says, from the first day that thou didst set thine heart to understand and to chasten thyself before thy God, thy words were heard, and I am come for thy words. You see, so your words hold weight, they hold power. You see, what we say matters, man. What we say is very powerful, man. You know. It says, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. But lo, Michael, one of their chief princes, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. Now I am come to make thee understand what shall befall thy people in the latter days. For yet the vision is for many days, right? And what's happening now is the vision is speaking. At the end it shall speak and not lie. So you have to understand the spirit of devils, the false spirit of the Lord, and the true spirit of the Lord, which is of truth. Which is all of truth, full of truth and full of light. You see, full of power. 1 Corinthians 6 and 15. Know ye not that your bodies are the members of Yahushai? Shall I then take the members of Yahushai and make them the members of an harlot? God forbid. So we don't have a membership with this fucking world, the mother of all harlots. And it's heavy too. A member is a subscriber. So a lot of guys, you subscribe to these false prophets, it's you subscribe to this world because they speak of the world. They speak of Doja Cat You fucking kid. It's a joke, man. See, Lord's bringing these calamities and plagues upon the wicked. That's worthy to be laughed at. The Lord said, "You shall mock the those that ain't able to finish their tower, the false prophets." Just like Elijah, he mocked the false prophets, the prophets of Baal. It says, "What? Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. But he that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit." You see that? "Flee fornication. Every sin that a man doeth is without the body. But he that committeth fornication sinneth against his own body. What? Know ye not that your body is a temple of the Holy Ghost which is in you, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own." You see? "For ye are bought with a price. Therefore glorify God in your body and in your spirit, which are God's." Right? So we belong to the Lord. We're the Lord's prized possession, which he's coming to what? To return back to him. You see? Because it belongs to him. We belong to the Lord.
We got the key.
So there's definitely a obvious line being drawn between give God what is God and give Caesar what Caesar's. You know? You're not to covet over money or over the things of this world. You see? But what is the Lord's is what? Your body, mind, and soul and spirit. You see? That belongs to the Lord. 1 Peter 2 and 5. "Yea, also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house and holy priesthood to offer up spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Yahushua Mashiach." Right? And the sacrifice that we're given is the praises of our mouth. You see? It says, "Wherefore also is contained in the scripture, Behold, I lay aside a chief cornerstone, elect, precious, and he that believeth on him shall not be confounded." Right? So we're not being shut up. You know, our mouths are not being stopped, unlike a lot of you other guys. And GMS is not the third temple, man. GMS is the den of thieves. Just like a lot of these other camps, man. But see, we're coming for the head. So you don't go with a fucking serpent, a fucking dragon, or a reptilian. You don't go for the tail. The tail grows back. You go for the head, and you end it. You end it, man. You finish it. That's what we're doing. You see? Jeremiah 7 and 4. "Trust ye not in lying words." Right? So don't trust in these words of these fucking devils, man, amongst our people. They lie to you, man. They're not teaching the ways of Yahushua. It says, "Trust ye not in lying words, saying, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord, the temple of the Lord are these." See, it's not the camp with a YouTube channel, man. And that's why, Lord, he's just waiting for a few other brothers to really wake up and get it and grasp this thing. And then he's going to bring that flood in, man. He's going to bring that desolation. That's why it's so heavy the times that we're in, man. We're in very troubling times, man. You know, freedoms are being stripped. A lot of people being deceived and taken advantage of, and being destroyed for lack of knowledge. That's why knowledge is so important. Knowledge is power. And just like a light bulb, if you don't have no power, then that light bulb is good for nothing. So a lot of you guys are like that. Jeremiah 13 and verse 21. I'm gonna bring this out with the brother earlier brought this out, man. It was heavy, man. Last night, Jeremiah 13:21. "What wilt thou say when he shall punish thee? For thou hast taught them to be captains, and as chief over thee. Shall not sorrows take thee as a woman in travail?" Right? And many sorrows shall be those that have forsaken the Lord. And the Lord said in James, "Don't be many masters, for you shall receive the greatest condemnation." You see? "And if thou say in thine heart, Wherefore come these things upon me? For the greatness of thine iniquity are thy skirts discovered, and thy heels made bare." Whew. 24. "Therefore," 23. "Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots?" See, and the Lord said he's going to make his church without spot and without a blemish. You see? So this is going into the wicked amongst our people. They might look, see, in the Ethiopian, they kind of look like Israelites, but they're not. You start to look at them real closely. You start to, try spirit by spirit, and you find out they're Ethiopians, they're Hamites, they're heathens. "And yet Ethiopians shall perish by the sword." Says, then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Therefore will I scatter them as a stubble that passeth away by the wind of the wilderness. This is thy lot, the portion of thy measures from me, saith the Lord, because thou hast forgotten me and trusted in falsehood. Therefore will I discover thy skirts upon thy face, that thy shame may appear. I have seen thine adulteries and thy nayings, the lewdness of thy whoredom, and thine abominations on the hills and the fields. Woe unto thee, O Jerusalem! Wilt thou not be made clean? When shall it once be? Whew. Yeah, woe unto thee, O Jerusalem, man. What does Jerusalem do? Jerusalem kills the prophets, man. So Lord's about to kill Jerusalem, man. The 2/3 of our people, the chief priests, the elders, man, that were guilty of giving up Yahushai. They were so old, man. They forgot. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't. Wise men don't always understand judgment. You see? And they lost the Holy Spirit, man. Numbers 20. I'm gonna bring this out as well, because the thing is with the Lord is that you can't do anything against the truth. You know, you can't do anything, man. It's a battle that cannot be won. The Lord has the victory. The elect have the victory, man. We're not being confounded. The true servants of the Lord. Numbers 24. And I'm going to start verse 1. It says, and when Balaam saw that it pleased the Lord to bless Israel, he went not, as at other times, to seek for enchantments, but he set his face toward the wilderness. So Balaam realized that it pleased the Lord when he blessed Israel instead of cursed them. It says, in Balaam, and understand that in the prophecy that the world fighteth for the righteous. It says, and Balaam lifted up his eyes, and he saw Israel abiding in his tents according to their tribes. And the Spirit of God came upon him, and he took up his parable. So you'll have certain times with like the heathens, the Spirit of the Lord will like come upon them. Doesn't mean they're gonna be Israelites, they're gonna be saved, but they're gonna like speak some truth. You know what I'm saying? Or they might bring something out that they need to bring out, you know? It says, and he took up his parable and said, Balaam the son of Beor hath said, and the man whose eyes are open hath said, he hath said, which heard the words of God, which saw the vision of the Almighty, falling into a trance, but having his eyes open. How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel. As the valley are they spread forth, as gardens by the river's side, as the trees of lying aloes, which the Lord hath planted, and as cedar trees beside the waters. He shall pour the water out of his buckets, and his seed shall be in many waters, meaning that we're going to be in many nations, and our seed is going to be everywhere, right? It says, and his king shall be higher than Agag, higher than Esau. It says, and his kingdom shall be exalted. God brought him forth out of Egypt. He hath, as it were, the strength of a unicorn. He shall eat up the nations, his enemies. Another thing I want to say too is that the wicked, they have this big table with all this carnal food, and they're like, oh yeah, eat. You have to eat this, you have to eat that. But the elect were like, nah, we're not going to eat that, because when you eat something, you consume it and it goes into your body, and then your body eats from it. You see what I'm saying? They have that saying, you are what you eat. You see? It says, he shall eat up the nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows, right? And that's what the word of the Lord does. It breaks the bones. He couched, he lay down as a lion, as a great lion, right? I mean, they're lowly. We're lowly. We're low. We blend in. We're the lowly, we're the poor. It says, who shall stir him up? Blessed is he that blesseth thee, and cursed he that curseth thee. And Balak's anger was kindled against Balaam, and he smote his hands together. And Balak said unto Balaam, I call thee to curse mine enemies, and behold, thou hast altogether blessed them these 3 times. Slack, yeah. 3 times. It says, therefore now flee thou to thy place. I thought to promote thee unto great honor. Right? So why was Balak going to promote Balaam to great honor? Because he paid him off to curse Israel. So same thing now, these celebrities and NBA stars, like, yeah, they make contracts and they sign deals to, like, do whatever the fucking Esau says. Yeah, promote vaccines and blah, all this fucking bullshit. But you got your handful out there that's like, man, I can't curse who the Lord's blessing, the elect, our own people. You know what I'm saying? It's beautiful. It says, I thought to promote thee unto great honor, but lo, the Lord hath kept thee back from honor. And Balaam said unto Balak, spake I not also to thy messengers which thou sendest unto me, saying, if Balak would give me his house full of silver and gold, I cannot go beyond the commandment of Yahweh to do either good or bad of mine own mind. What the Lord saith, that will I speak. You see, so but Balak's making a point, like, even if Balaam were to give me a house full of silver and gold, which, you know, that obviously he can't do that, but he still can't go beyond the commandment of the Lord. See, the Lord directs man. Man's goings are of the Lord. Man, the Lord's in control of everything, man. It says, and now, behold, I go unto my people. Come therefore, and I will advertise thee what this people shall do to thy people in the latter days. You see? You see? And that's exactly what we're doing in these latter days, man. Alright? All praise, glory, honor, and faith. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Warakakwadash. Ababa Ball. Shalom.